Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slate and today we are back with the Build a Champ series. Today we are going to be talking about one of the most popular newish heroes that has recently been released, and that is going to be Valara. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, Valara was released a couple of months ago as part of the anniversary events and this new tactician class, which are heroes that are basically able to move on their ultimate. But one of the reasons that she is just so popular and so good is because of her amazing AoE capabilities. She is able to hit 5 heroes on her basic attack and 10 heroes on her ultimate. She's also able to inflict slow. She has a really beautiful range. It's that sort of arrogance range slash some mages have this range as well when she does her ultimate. You can see here, this is not correct. She needs to be promoted in order to get this extra tile. She also has an ability to deal extra true damage as well as a magic resistance reduction, which is just fantastic. She also has a bond skill with the limited hero Moradin. This is mainly to do with deployment cost, but also some lovely rage regen as well. She does have invisibility as well. She can be placed on a platform or a grand tile. And then in terms of her awakenings, her A1 is absolutely fantastic because essentially when enemies enter her attack range, she inflicts radiant erosion on them, but also it's the fact that she ignores 25% magic resistance on heroes that are marked with radiant erosion. Her A3 is lovely, and the fact that essentially she becomes immune to some damage, which can be very nasty in PvP content, especially GVG. And then also her A5 is the fact that she is able to increase damage to enemies that have got control effects such as slow, which is something that you really only see with the cursed cult faction members. Oh my goodness me. Anyway, so yeah, in terms of her, she is an arbiter and an esoteric. Where do you use her? She pretty much shines in an absolute ton of content. Gear Aid 1, she's fantastic in. You could use her in Gear Aid 2. You could even use her, to be honest, in Gear Aid 3 if you were progressing. She's not going to be in the high stages, but because of the invisibility that she has and the fact she can be placed on a platform, you could put her here on this tile in order to get rid of the mob that comes out of here. And then where else can she be used? All through Artifact Material Raid. You could probably use her in Gear Dungeon. She's fantastic, like I said, in GVG as well as Arena. She's very good because she hits air as well as stuff. So essentially, where doesn't she work well in? And to be honest, that is that she's just going to be your boss content because she's more AoE than single target. She's not going to be making any of the top lineups for damage in APOC or Abyss or normal Guild Boss 1. But if you are progressing, you absolutely could try her because of the true damage that she is able to bring along as well. In terms of how you are meant to build, well, we are going to be looking for stat priorities like we would with DPS, and that is going to be looking at attack, crit rate, getting that fully capped out, attack speed, and then also crit damage as well. Rage regen is nice on her as like a little extra, but definitely not something to prioritize. In terms of exclusive gear, she doesn't, although she does have esoteric exclusive gear in Cataclysm, and actually this can be really nice because it does restore some rage, which is lovely. And then in terms of the artifact, she does have her own exclusive, which increases AoE damage, which is really, really lovely. And this Leap of Faith, which I think I forgot to mention, is a knockback. So she does have this knockback capabilities. Unfortunately, because she's magic, you can't really use that knockback capabilities in Gear Dungeon 2, as that isn't going to work. But it is very lovely within other content that you want to do. And if you don't have her exclusive, then I would definitely say pick up the Helm of Helios, which increases damage by X amount. Obviously this improves as you move up the oh my goodness, what is it called? The promotions, I guess, of the artifact. And then also it does mean that allies within 2 tiles are able to also get a little bit of damage increase. And if you somehow manage to start your account with a Valara and you have just started the game, then you could absolutely chuck her in a Keen Wisdom and just get a little bit of extra damage out on her. In terms of gearing her, if you are in a progression type build, like we said, we're going to be focusing on stats over sets. Ideally, you will be looking at Warlord, but if you don't have Warlord, definitely put her into Calamity. We're going to be looking at attack bonus with crit rate and attack speed on the weapon, and then looking for crit damage, and ideally that quad with a flat attack for the chest. And then on the right hand side, your best bet obviously is going to be moving into Soulstone, Arcana, and Kata, which we have just mentioned. But if you don't have it, then I would definitely say go for a Wisdom set. That is because Wisdom helps increase damage after using the ultimate. You could try her in Styx because that is increased AoE damage, but to be honest, it's not even the same amount with 18%, so it's not really worth it, in my opinion. And then I guess you could try Curse for every enemy in range, and because that will go up to 30% if she is essentially doing AoE content, that can be quite nice as well. So essentially, between Curse and Wisdom, if you are progressing, it is going to be whichever one is going to give you the best amount of stats, essentially, between the two. So we're going to chuck her in a Wisdom here and see what we can get out. It's looking at something like that. Just try and get this attack as high as possible. Make sure she's crit capped, then get the speed, then get the crit damage. And yeah, this is obviously it's a bit weird doing a progression build, but hopefully you get the idea. And obviously, if it is progression, always go for stats over sets. Now, in terms of when you are late to endgame, how are you going to build her? Definitely want to be using her exclusive. Like I said, if you didn't have her exclusive, same thing applies. Use the Helm of Helios. But in terms of gear, the two sets that you are really going to be going for is Soulstone, Arcana, and Cataclysm. Now, in terms of which one is better for which, in my opinion, it is whichever set you have that has the best stats that you can get from it. So if you have better Cataclysm with that esoteric ring that is really nice, then go for that. And if you have really lovely Soulstone, Arcana, then definitely go for that instead. Anyway, in terms of the left-hand side, ideally you want to be moving to Wicked Vengeance, and that is because Wicked Vengeance is the only left-hand side gear that you can get these quad pieces on weapons and chests. So you are looking for attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage as a quad on both. Now, if you don't have these quad pieces, because obviously they are very rare and very endgame, you're going to want to get a Warlord. Make sure that it has attack bonus on both pieces, please. Even though some ancients don't have it, you definitely need to make sure that she has attack bonus on all of her pieces. And then again, you could go for the weapon having crit rate and attack speed, and for the chest you could go for that crit damage and flat attack quad for there as well. In terms of investment on skills, I definitely think she is worth investing all the skill crystals. There are no skills of hers that are not worth investing in. She's definitely one of those heroes that is worth the investment because you're going to use her an absolute ton of content. And then the other thing is, in terms of whether or not you use soulstones, I personally don't think it is worth using a soulstone on her. Yes, obviously as an ancient hero, it is going to be hard to get copies of her, but because she is in the normal pool and because unpolished soulstones are very rare to come by, I think that they are best saved for your limited heroes that you want to move up. For example, your Kagiri, your Wukong, your Daochan. But you know, there has been an introduction very recently, or about to be an introduction very recently, where we're now getting shards. So if you really wanted to, I could see an argument for going for her A1, or if you were very close, let's say you had an A4, you could get her to A5. But essentially, I think you just wait and see is how I would put it. And then one other little very final thing to note is, oh goodness me, I keep coming off the page, is that for whatever reason, tacticians have fantastic BP. And so if you are starting out in GVG, you could definitely use her as one of your BP units, but also in the Tide content as you're pushing further up, definitely chuck her into your team as well. So yeah, overall, Valara is an absolutely phenomenal unit. She has incredible AoE capabilities. You pretty much want to build her like you do with DPS, especially if you're using her as your like primary DPS in content. You absolutely want to be putting the best set that you have on her. In the end to late to end game, if that is Cataclysm, put her in the Cataclysm with an Esoteric Ring, and if that is Soulbond Arcana, you go for that instead. Ideally, quad Wicked Vengeance on the left-hand side, and Warlord if you don't have it. Do pick up her exclusive artifact if you can. And yeah, that is pretty much everything that I have to say about Valara. Do let me in the comments below if you've got her, when did you get her, how did she help your account, and everything else like that. Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and the next live stream. So until then, take care and bye for now.